7 movies that surpassed all expectation. Devil. So I heard about this movie being about 5 people in an elevator, and one of them is the devil. To me that sounds pretty interesting, however I knew it was a low budget movie with a bunch of unknown actors in it. I was thinking it's going to be another run-of-the-mill horror movie, so I really wasn't expecting much upon first watch. And I'm pleased to say I was wrong. Devil seriously is one of my favourite movies because it's just so unique. With the original story and amazing acting from Logan Marshall Green, this movie surpassed my expectation. Circle. This is actually one of my favourite movies of all time, and you haven't even heard about it. I'd actually be surprised if you have. Now, I discovered this movie on IMDb. It had 6.1, which is dreadful. So I immediately realised that it was also low budget and it had 50 actors in it, none of which I'd ever heard of or seen in anything other than this. So as you can probably see, I wasn't expecting much of anything until I read the summary. 50 people are forced to choose one person among them who deserves to live. With this in mind, I decided to give it a go. Now, the acting is bad. Well, some of it is. There's actually a few decent performances. Also, the special effects are bad, which I'm not really bothered about for a low budget movie. If I wanted to watch acting or CGI, I'd go watch Dallas Buyers Club or Transformers or something like that. No, I'm here for the story. And I've got to say, it is one of the most interesting ones I've ever seen. In this movie, you see how the characters manipulate situations to their advantage. You see people team up and make alliances. You see people lie about themselves for survival. All of which I find extremely interesting. Seriously, trust me on this one. If you want a movie worth thinking about, give this one a go. Role models. This movie is dog shit. If this was a list for best movies ever made, this would not be on it. But it's not. When you watch this movie, just accept that it is terrible, okay? This may sound strange, and you may be wondering why it is even on this list in the first place. Well, the reason for that is because it's a comedy, and I laughed hysterically all the way throughout. There's something about Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott that makes me laugh every time they're on screen. They just simply work well together. When you watch it, it's almost as if the actors know it's a shit movie, so they don't even care. They don't even give a shit anymore. Seriously, I'm not even exaggerating. I've seen these actors before. They weren't that good in other movies. They seriously look like they don't give a shit and are just here for a paycheck, really. They're just taking the piss. Nevertheless, it's still worth a watch. Like, if you want a laugh or you just fancy watching a comedy, I definitely recommend Role Models. It sounds ridiculous for me to say, go watch this, like, after I've just slagged it off, but it really is hilarious, so that's why I'd recommend this one. Exam. Much like Circle, this movie only takes place in one room, and it's about competing for survival. In this, 8 people are all after a highly desired job in which all they have to do is get the answer to the question. Now, since they don't know what the question is, they have to work together to find out. So this movie is great when displaying how different personalities clash when faced with a confusing situation. This movie has you guessing from start to end, as you also try to figure out what the fuck is going on in this. A Million Ways to Die in the West. So I like Family Guy, right? But this is different because instead of 20-minute episodes, this is a full 2-hour movie. I just didn't think that Seth MacFarlane could keep my interest for that long. Well, since this is on my list, he obviously did. This movie is a comedy, and since it had my sides hurting every 5 minutes, I'd say that's pretty successful. I mean, it doesn't have much in the way of story, and it definitely drags on a bit in the end. I'd say it's about 20 minutes too long. Nevertheless, I was laughing all throughout, which is quite surprising for a comedy these days. Coherence. Coherence is confusing. It is so confusing that when I first seen it, I had to watch it again, just because thinking about it made my brain hurt. Strange things start to happen when a group of friends gather for a dinner party on an evening when a comet is passing overhead. The reason why it's so confusing is because it's about parallel universes and alternate realities, which I find extremely interesting, and I hope you do too, because when you watch this movie, it will melt your brain. It is probably the most confusing film I've ever seen. Like, just trying to think about what's going on is just mad. And that's what I love about it. You can definitely follow what's going on with future watches, but on the first time you're screwed. And it's not just like stupid confusing, like for no reason whatsoever. You can't follow it if you know what's going on, but on the first time you watch it, you don't have a clue. On future watches, you can definitely put the pieces of the puzzle together. You'll be able to work it out. So this movie's great it's got great replay value. It's a great movie. Go watch it. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video.